Hello, lovely folks. You are once again welcome to the channel Time to Change Me in 10 Minutes. My name is Salome Maku Amasa, and today we will be looking at Unit 1, Chapter 4, and on the lesson, the 6 steps in which the heart flows in life. Lovely people, every person has the heart to exalt him or herself. If once or twice you do something better than others, you will remember this for so long while forgetting the wrong that you have done. Or if a person makes some money or does something that others are unable to do, they become proud of themselves. Thinking of this heart and thinking of this becomes joyous and makes them so much proud. With this kind of heart, they become best with themselves and they end up thinking, I am doing great. As they think I am doing great, this becomes the first step in which the heart flows. Whilst the person becomes arrogant and high-hearted, thinking I am doing great, they become negligent and indulgent, in that they don't have ears to listen, and this ends up to be the second step in which the heart flows. When a person does some business and maximizes profits out of the business, they feel I am good at making business. So this kind of person do not take advice from other people, do not listen to the voice of others. They only believe in themselves, thinking they are good at making business. Such people end up in failure. This becomes the third step in which the heart flows. Lovely people, why do people hate to fail? Why do people hate failure? It's because failure brings pain to the heart. So, feeling pain out of failure becomes the fourth step of the heart. Everybody's heart flows the same way. Just like a raindrop falls into the mountain, it flows through low places and culminates to become brooks and rivers. Everybody's heart flows same. Just as a raindrop falls into the mountain, it flows through low places and culminates to become brooks and rivers. It flows through oceans and becomes ocean water. Likewise, our heart flows in the same path. People do not fail overnight, but through steps, through procedures, they end up failing and they become painful in their heart. When the person feels I am doing well and I'm doing great, they end up becoming high-hearted. And when they are high-hearted, they do not have ears to listen to others. And with their hearts, they only follow their thoughts and their decisions. And when that continues, becomes layers upon layers and piles up in their hearts, they end up failing. And through failing, it brings pain to their hearts. So, turning around suffering and pain is the fifth step in which the heart flows. In another way, the heart can turn around. As the heart turns around, it brings joy and happiness to one's life. And this is the sixth step in which the heart flows. Lovely people, in today's lesson, we are going to look at a life story in which the heart was able to turn around through suffering, through failure, through pain. But at the end, whilst it's able to turn around, it brought happiness and joy into one's life. Today's lesson and today's story is about a rich man who had two sons. One day, the younger son went to his father. Father, I think I'm old enough, so I want to live a life of my own. I want to start a business. So, Father, please, I want the portion of your inheritance that is due to me. I want to start a business on my own. The father was surprised and he answered, Hey, son, what are you talking about? Do you know how to make business? Do you know how to start and manage a business? It's not that easy as you think. The son replied, Daddy, I am of age, and you know I'm one of the best students when it comes to business. I made good grades, so I think I can manage a business, and you will see you're going to be proud of me. I'll come back with a whole wealth, joy, and happiness. Anyway, the father wasn't happy, so it was a forth and back argument between father and son. But at the long run, the father could not, but gave the younger son what is due him. So the younger son went to a far country to start a business just as he said. When he got to the country, he ended up in a bar. At the first time, he wanted to take some drink. So he went there to take just a drink. But funny enough, it wasn't just a first time. It wasn't just the first day. It continued and he ended up involving into women, spending the money on women also. So the money he took just to start a business, he started spending much than he thought. So he made up his mind, I am not going back to the bar anymore. I have to start my business. But he couldn't overcome this heart. He couldn't overcome quitting the bar. He continued going to the bar until he exhausted all that he had. There, the women also turned their back at him. So they said, if you do not have money, then we have nothing to do with you. He felt this was very bad. He felt the women were not good. They were not generous. They were not kind to him because he spent all he had with these women. But today, they are throwing him off. They are turning their back at him. Anyway, in the far country, there was a huge famine. So he made up his mind to look or search for jobs. But because of the famine, he was not able to find himself any job. And because this child grew in a rich home, he did not know how to even serve others because he had everything to himself back then. So they had to strive, they had to suffer. He couldn't stand that. So, because of hunger and out of desperation, he ended up taking care of pigs. So out of desperation and out of suffering and hunger, he ended up being a head of pigs. So he was taking care of pigs. So these foods that the pigs will eat is what he eats. But one day, as he went to bed, he thought deeply about his father and his elder brother. Thinking about home, he felt and asked himself, how would my father and my brother be living by now? When I think about home, there is enough food in the house. There is everything that I will need in the house. Why don't I go back home and plead with my father, even to become a servant to my father, not a son? So this heart made this boy turn around to go to his home. On his way, just some few meters to the house, he saw his father way off. His father ran to him, hugged him, kissed him, and ordered some of the servants to clean him up, to dress him with the nice clothes, and to prepare a feast for him. So they did, and they made merry. Lovely people, this story illustrates the 6 steps of the heart. How a person believes in himself, how a person thinks they are good, they are best at doing something, and how they ended up failing. Lovely people, you can also think about your life. This time, which kind of heart or which kind of step are you into? When you think about it, it's either you turn around the heart or you turn around the suffering and the pain. When you realize your heart is high-hearted, at the time you did something well and you can't listen to others, then you will turn around your heart and you become happy, you become joyous, and move out of the pain. Lovely folks, I believe that this week will be a blessed week for you to think about your heart, open your eyes to yourself, and ask yourself, which step are you into currently? And through that, you can still make time to change your heart. I'll end here with you, and next time we'll meet again on another edition. Thank you. Bye.